Charm City is hungry. They know what they crave. A chance at Lombardi. However, they've come up short in their recent chances for one reason or another. For the most part, the issues point to one man. Lamar. An electrifying player, yes, but when his legs are cut off by defenses, he's tended to struggle. He regressed as a pocket passer last year. And with an infusion of receiving talent, there will be no excuses for further stagnation. As long as the skill players don't get injured, that is. There's nothing Jackson can do there. With Justin Houston brought in to shore up the pass rush, the Ravens know that the AFC North will be as brutal as ever. And the goal for them is maintaining this superiority. Anything less may be more disappointing than the average game at Camden Yards these days. At least that stadium's nice. The AFC seems to be top-heavy again, but there's a ton of competition in the middle. And that's where the intrigue will come into play. The divisions seem relatively cut and dry. Buffalo wins the AFC East, Cleveland gets the AFC North, Tennessee claims the AFC South, and Kansas City locks up the AFC West. But for wildcards, there's an argument to be made for many teams. For the three I'm choosing, I'm going with Baltimore, Miami, and the Chargers. It was very tough to pick anyone who stands out in that regard. So I'm hoping for a really exciting AFC this season. I have a gut feeling another 10-win team isn't going to make the playoffs again. Let me put it to you this way. If you were to submit this game as a movie script, every single production company would shove it back in your face for how unrealistic it was. Prepare yourselves, everyone. For our first trip into the new black hole, we're entering one. A world where the insane and absurd are the normal standard. A time when every single expectation is thrown out the window. What we will be entering is what we call the Shyamalan zone, where twists and turns are chucked at you for the sake of the twist. Baltimore may be controlling possession. They may be cruising to a victory, but prepare for the swerve.
Jackson trying to get out of there, and the ball comes out.
Momentum swing. The Raiders have life. All things may seem easy by the end of the game. Ravens kicked a field goal to go up by 3 with less than a minute left, but the twist! Baltimore forgot how to play defense. 2 passes sets up a field goal by Vegas to take us to overtime. The script now says for Baltimore to keep sucking at defense and allow a touchdown, but we need to change the script. The Raiders are now stuffed at the 1. The events after this, all I can describe it as this game taking all of the drugs. Every single narcotic you can think of taken at the same time. Can you please explain what the fuck this is?
Throwing. Oh, no. Fingertips and intercepted.
This overtime has become the ending for Metal Gear Solid 2. The entire football watching audience is now tripping balls. I need scissors. 61. Baltimore may be getting handed a victory from the jaws of defeat, but how about another twist?
3rd and 7. Jackson trying to get out, can't do it. He's taken down and it's out.
Who knew the Ravens can't block pass rushers? And this is when John Gruden becomes Andy Warhol and plays roulette with his special teams unit, causing a delay of game. And at this point, Baltimore had enough and just rage quit the serve.
Gonna throw. Drake picked up the pressure. All alone is Steve Jones, and he will prance into the end zone.
I feel like I need my stomach pumped from the sheer amount of drugs I saw ingested by the football gods. The Raiders christen their new digs with a win as everyone gets drunk and parties for 3 days straight. Ravens, I'd recommend getting your liquor handy. It might be one of those years.
You blew it. Fish.
Something is in the air in Baltimore tonight. It's the aura of Lamar Jackson transforming into a running back in front of our very eyes. Okay, I may be exaggerating a bit there, but going up against the Chiefs' offense, you can't take the foot off the gas. Kansas City is too potent to hope things just happen. The name of this game? What the fuck is team defense? There isn't a whole lot of it going on. A few plays here and there, but for the most part, game planning and execution went out the window in favor of something rivaling pickup football. Where the Ravens rush counter tackle, fumble the ball in the air, and it's then caught by a wide receiver for a touchdown. Exactly how it was drawn up. Tackling and pass coverage, they went out for cigarettes and beer and never came back. So with one side of the ball neutralized, Baltimore just has to hope that their relentless rushing attack can make up the difference. I don't know how, but it did? Really, it did? Holy shit. Lamar Jackson may have regressed as a pocket passer, but the dude is still an electric runner. With his efforts, the Ravens have not only gotten close to the Chiefs, but have taken the lead. Now, if they can hold it, I honestly can't tell. That Kansas City offense is extremely deadly.
Ball's out. Oh, the ball is out. He lost it.
If only their running backs didn't commit harakiri. But you have to make sure Mahomes doesn't get the ball back. Go for the kill.
Chiefs have to make sure they don't jump. And Jackson will get the first down.
The Ravens go from choking against the Raiders to coming back down 2 scores against the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson finally overcame his demons? Go home, Baltimore. You're drunk. Detroit Lions are holding a celebration for Calvin Johnson today. It's full of bitterness and resentment for wasting his career and denying him what he's owed, but that won't stop them from playing Baltimore. As much of a mess as they've been over the years, they're playing a competently sound game. They aren't doing much of anything on offense, but what the Lions needed to do is contain Lamar Jackson. And they're doing it well. Although Hollywood Brown may be doing more than enough of that with his performance. It appears on this festive occasion, the Ravens chose to imitate their rival 4 hours away. They're playing down to their competition. And it's humiliating to see. Baltimore, this is against a team trying to trade away Jamie Collins. They should be burying them, yet the defense is being left to dry. Nothing like helping them rest by Lamar throwing a pick. Their offense was hot garbage in the first half, but with a field goal after a long drive, Detroit has the lead with a minute left.
Here I come to save the day.
High-end talent bailing out a team playing like shit. I'm experiencing deja vu. But even that can't save them here, right? Justin Tucker needs to make the league's longest field goal of 66 yards to do it.
On its way. It bounces off the crossbar, and it's good! Oh my
Justin fucking Tucker. Call it a hot take all you want, but this man is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Single-handedly saving Baltimore's terrible game to lead them to an undeserved win. Why do I say that? Look at the play beforehand. This is the lay of game. That field goal should have never happened. Detroit got screwed out of a win in the most Detroit way possible. There is only one true conclusion we can make. God hates the Lions. Bobby Lane was wrong. His 50-year curse was based on Mars's orbit. Oh no, Denver! You had to play a team that wasn't carefully handpicked by the developers? The game stopped holding your hand and made you rely on your own skill? Well, that's it. Time to write a bad review on IGN. Unfortunately for the Broncos, they can't write unfair reviews because they suck and must still deal with relentless dunking by those who knew they were frauds. Baltimore's defense is injured, rat-infested trash, yet they looked unstoppable again. And that was before Teddy Bridge was knocked out of the game with a concussion. Now you must endure horsecock lock. They call him that because you'll be in the Mr. Hand simulator by the time this game's finished. Baltimore crushes the lower-class peon that thinks he's better than what he is. End of story. Back to the decrepit village, fuckers! The Ravens flexed on you and you're pissed about it. Bitch about it at the tavern to some wenches. What the fuck is Baltimore's problem? Why is it that every time I think this team could gain some goddamn consistency, they shit the bed like there's no tomorrow? Great, you have Lamar, but what else have you got? Wide receivers made of Swiss cheese? A defense made of even more Swiss cheese? In a showing that best resembles sewage floating down the Chesapeake, the Ravens are struggling to gain any sort of traction against the Colts. This is a friendly reminder that Indianapolis is not only not any good this year, but they're injured to hell and back. A true contender would smack this piece of shit back in his place. You should be incredibly thankful that John Gruden's emails are taking the heat from you, Baltimore. This should be a hell of a lot uglier than it is. To add to Indy's trouble, the Colts have a limited kicker because his groin is stretched from all the wedgies that nerd's been taking. Shit defense, shit game planning, but you have Lamar to save you, right?
Jackson wants to keep it, and he'll be dragged down, and the football comes out!
Do you see why I have doubts about the Ravens? Absolutely fucking embarrassing. The Colts are laying it on now. A 19-point deficit at home against a literal glue factory. How are you going to answer for this travesty? Oh, I see. Lamar took a telepathic shit. He's transcended the time-space continuum itself to achieve Zen, the golden toilet. Blessed with only the finest plumbing and accessories. And a bidet to keep the paper usage to a minimum. Years of training with ancient bowel masters have allowed him to master this art. And you know what happens when Lamar lets loose the dump of war? The defense becomes his outhouse. Remember what I said about the Colts, right? How they're injured to hell and back and truly suck in actuality? They're the perfect target for a precision bailout by high-end talent. Indy's offensive play calling is trying not to lose. And you can't do that in this kind of affair. But they're still in field goal range and it may be too late.
And it's blocked! Blocked by Calais Campbell!
The Ravens can play defense now? I forgot they have talent that's not lying in a crematorium over there. Cue the music, boys!
Here I come to save the day.
What the fuck are the Ravens? I swear, every fucking week with this team has been 11 billion cardiac arrest followed by rapid tachycardia. And now Baltimore has suddenly hit a manic euphoria.
Jackson with all sorts of time. Now throws. Caught. Andrews. Touchdown.
And cue the 2-point conversion.
For the tie. It's Andrews and he got it.
Game tied. Fuck's sake, is there anything else that you want to tell me that'll make this game even more fucked? Ah, yes, Jack Doyle flopping like he's in the NBA. Silly defense, you think you can actually retaliate for cheap shots against you? And I think that will end this false open this game.
For the win. Blankenship.
What the fuck is football anymore? Is Justin Tucker the only kicker that can reliably make fucking kicks in this league? Good for Lamar because he's somehow not done shitting on the Colts and their failure as an organization just yet. He has a little extra push before his final bow. Going down the field and preparing the Ravens fan base to orgasm at the same fucking time.
Second and goal, second in the game. There it is, caught! Touchdown! Marquise Brown!
Holy shit, I've just realized something. This Ravens team is the 2017 Pittsburgh Steelers. Being constantly bailed out by high-end talent, playing down to competition, everything looking completely unsustainable due to massive flaws on the roster. Hate me all you want, Baltimore, but I know how this ends. Get your shit together quickly. You should be lucky the Colts kneecapped their own chances like they were a franchise quarterback. You're not getting the same outcome against legit opponents. Once again, I have no fucking idea how to assess the Baltimore Ravens this season. They are a mystery box. You never know what's going to be inside of it in a given quarter. Hell, it could even be a mystery box. Against a white-hot Chargers team, it was expected to be a brutal reality check for a group dancing around raindrops. We somehow didn't see it happening to the team coming into Baltimore. The Chargers came off a statement win and somehow did the Charger thing by laying a massive egg. Do they realize that the defense they're facing has the coverage of a yardstick and is injured to hell? Last week, going for it on 4th down was a boon for the Chargers. Today showed the risk of those procedures. They just had nothing. And Baltimore is somehow 5-1 despite every fucking opportunity to self-destruct. I understand nothing anymore. Someone please take me out of my misery like Lamar does his opponents. In their leveling up process, the Bengals chose a unique perk for their skill set. The art of detection. They can sniff out a team ripe for defeat for miles. Since he has the scent, it's Baltimore. Fun mystery box of Lamar and more Lamar coming off an ass-whooping of the Chargers. Good news, Ravens. It's now your turn. If there was ever a statement win for the Bengals, it's this one. In arguably their biggest game since Vontaze and Pac-Man self-destructed on the field, the Bungles unbungled. They put the world on notice with this game. I thought the Bengals were foolish for drafting Chase over Sewell. Now Chase is putting up numbers rivaling his former teammate Justin Jefferson last year. Joe Burrow is alive and thriving. Baltimore was unable to keep up offensively. Can't believe I'm saying this, but Cincinnati now holds the AFC North Division lead. This is a sign of the apocalypse. I now await the inevitable heat death of the earth due to their unprecedented success. The Bengals seriously are legit, though. The Vikings. They have the talent to make serious noise in this league, yet are consistently held back by those calling the shots on the sidelines. Think of Mike Zimmer as a restrictor plate at a superspeedway. The horsepower can take this team to great places, but Minnesota needs to be nerfed with conservative play calling that harkens us back to the 80s. You have a team with Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and a dude in plexiglass. How the hell does that consistently fail to generate any sort of momentum whatsoever? The Viking defense is dominating in the first half. Lamar Jackson is being contained, and Baltimore is shut down as a result. With how tight the AFC North has become, a Ravens loss would make things very, very interesting. He did it again. The Zen of the toilet. Lamar cleanses the toxins of bad football from his body and transcends the spiritual plane. Down 2 scores, he guides the Ravens back into the light with both timely play and excellent throws. He even taught the defense how to do it. The Viking offense is flushed against their watery assault. 21 unanswered points to take the lead. The mystery box continues to maintain tradition as we have no idea what to expect from Baltimore in a given week. This includes the next drive as Minnesota is methodical by finally showcasing their talent. They glide down to the end zone and tie the game. Okay, good. Now's their chance to win something besides bragging rights. Yet we get to overtime. The Viking defense makes another outstanding play because Devontae Freeman can't pass block. A chance to potentially salvage their season is in their grasp. But then Mike Zimmer happens. They get chicken shit and play for the tie. That doesn't work when an aggressive coach like John Harbaugh is against you. The fun for Minnesota continues as they let another easy win fall into the ether. All 5 of their losses this year have been due to their own failure and stubbornness as an organization. Just like last season, this one is looking like another waste of talent. The Vikings.
And you blow it!
Oh, now you bother to show up, Miami. Now you show up! Not when the games mattered, but here on this random-ass Thursday night in November against an AFC division leader. It wasn't even a close match where they played ugly and won. They put on a clinic on how to beat the Ravens' offense. Properly containing Lamar Jackson in the rushing attack? Giving Lamar fits by changing zone reads to prevent dissection of the secondary? Where has this defense been all season? This is the kind of rock-solid unit I was expecting out of them before the year. And the Dolphins are trying to lose. Brian Flores is out here making baffling moves with his QBs. The worst part about all of this isn't that we still don't know what the hell Baltimore is. And it's not in the endless blown coverages by the Ravens D. It's that the refs and their bullshit rules robbed us of a fat guy touchdown for the ages. On this blessed play, this lineman had the reflexes of Franco, the rumblings of the bus, and the grace of Lynn fucking Swan. Nobody cares if it's blatantly illegal. Fat guy touchdown trumps everything, even the rules. I am irrationally pissed about this, and I think Ravens fans are about this game. The Ravens have had a very tough season. Injuries have ravaged their lineup, but they found a way to persevere despite underlying warnings. Lamar has flaws, but he's been the catalyst for this winning. They're gonna need a new hero this week. He's out against Chicago due to illness. I know what you're thinking, but it's not one of those things you just shit out after a few days. But don't worry, Baltimore. They have a new product they've released on the shelves just for this situation. I can't believe it's not Lamar Jackson, also known as Tyler Huntley. He may be imitating Lamar, but Matt Nagy is imitating an NFL head coach. The result is slop that pigs would turn their head at. Somehow, Justin Fields is even worse than Huntley is. At least Huntley's got the excuse of coming in at the last minute for an ill starter. What's Chicago's alibi? They're without key players on defense, but defense isn't the issue. You had a fucking bye week to prepare. Why are you having so much trouble against this shit? Even worse, they managed to kill off Fields after letting him take a beating. Great going, lads. Now for Andy Dalton to throw a random touchdown off the bat to bring Chicago to the pits of despair. Despair, you say? Why's that? It's because every win means nothing changes for the Bears. With how rough Baltimore has been on offense, even with Justin Tucker taking the lead, nothing is precious. Well into the fourth, the Ravens are about to finish off a gritty win as Chicago tries their worst to pull off the unthinkable. All Baltimore needs is a stop on 4th and 11.
Dalton from the pocket. Way open is covered. Makes a catch. And that
All that effort just to blow a tire on that coverage? Good job, Chicago's now up by 4. They'll need Huntley to open up. I can't believe they committed pass interference on a terrible throw. They'll need to purchase I can't believe the Bears defense is folding. And I can't believe Sammy Watkins got something besides an injury. And a little something extra at the register. Why is Matt Nagy still coaching the Bears? Don't give me injuries. Baltimore is practically dead and somehow got extremely lucky by playing you. The rest of the AFC North is glaring at Chicago. They pissed themselves. Big time.
You blew it, boy! You really blew it!
Talk about your epic matchups as if they are anything special. Lies. Strap yourselves into a world where every play is such beautiful torture you'd think you were in Abu Ghraib. AFC North football, a place where the terrible is routine. Where whatever expectations you have are hilariously thrown out the window. When the Browns play the Ravens, it's the stuff that puts the Ice Bowl to shame. A game so ugly and disheveled that you can call it modern art. Anything they can fuck up, I can fuck up better, both teams cry. Cleveland can fumble the ball on a wide receiver pass all they want. Lamar's making turnovers tonight. Cleveland can kick a field goal by means of doink to bring their lead down to 3. Lamar believes the ball is infected with plague and gives the ball back on the next play. The Browns can fumble the ball away again on a sack. Lamar's making turnovers to feed an army. I cannot exaggerate how terrible Lamar Jackson was today. Even on his big passes to start the second half, he's just saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna throw it deep. Mark Andrews will spawn in to catch it or something." This wasn't a game where a team won. It's one where the winner simply fucked the ball less. Whatever opportunities the Browns had, they could do nothing with them. Lamar had 4 interceptions and the Ravens still ended up victorious. As has been proven time and time again, Baltimore reveals they are both the luckiest sons of bitches with the injuries they've had and a team that wants to fill up every neuro ICU with stroke victims. This matchup was a goddamn hemorrhage, and millions saw it happen live on primetime. If you don't like this, then you don't like AFC North football, motherfucker! Classic rivalry game. When Ravens and Steelers meet, you know you're getting a hard-fought clash of trench warfare and open field scrums. This is peak AFC North football. As ugly and as scrappy as you could expect such an affair to be. Pittsburgh is desperate after being annihilated by Cincinnati, and this is as must-win for them as it's going to get. Thank the gods that they paid off the coronavirus to clear TJ Watt from COVID protocol early. He will be a relentless shit-wrecker all game, but things are painful on the offensive front. The Ravens are trying to squeeze the life out of their rival by any means necessary. By merely holding Pittsburgh to 3 points through 3 quarters, you believe that the Steelers' season was all but finished. But this is potentially the last ride of Captain Fatfuck. The leader of men will not go down with a whimper. You have to force him to settle out of court. In what may be the last rally of his storied career, Big Ben throws with a precision we haven't seen in years. With a stout defense complementing, the Black and Gold Brigade takes a 7-point lead with less than 2 minutes left. Lamar Jackson has had a very rough game to this point forward. Miami laid down the blueprint on how to stop him, but it can all be forgotten with one drive. He's had endless pressure on him and has been sacked 7 times due to bad matchups. Then again, if anyone can pull a win out of his ass, it's him.
Lamar Jackson, you got people over the middle of the field. Take your time and throw to him. He's got protection. Got all kinds of time. He throws, and Watkins has it.
That's the magic of Lamar. But the Ravens know what they need to do. Go for the kill. And they need to do it fast.
The game hinges on one play. Jackson flings it. Andrews can't get to it. Could not reel it in. Incomplete.
Yinzer Shaman's counter with Heinz ketchup. So why go for 2 when you could have tied it and go to overtime? That's simple. The Ravens were nearly out of cornerbacks. Going further might have been a death sentence either way, but by God, did they grasp defeat out of the jaws of victory with this game or what? A gutsy as hell performance by Pittsburgh has rewarded them to give their season new life. Baltimore may have been the number 1 seed, but they certainly haven't been playing like one all season. This game was more proof of how I smell a rat. Have fun being a one and done in the playoffs. If you could even get there. I don't care what the records say, both these teams aren't good. They have insane weaknesses due to both one-dimensional schemes and a barrage of injuries. Baltimore's been running with a magic 4-leaf clover shoved up their pee hole for most of the season, but this may finally be the moment it ends. Not only is Cleveland, their former home, making them pay for the old sins of Art Motel, but Lamar Jackson is forced to go back to the locker room. And it isn't for the sake of reliving memes. You can't shit out your ankle, so the game's going to fall on the shoulders of I can't believe it's not Lamar Jackson. Here's your mission, sir. You have to try and come back from a 24-3 deficit at half. Do you think it can be done? Probably not, but we don't give a shit. The Ravens are in a deep hole and can't afford to lose any more ground to those behind them in the division. Every game is precious. And the Browns are hot garbage as well. They've gone back to their old form of harakiri by means of strangling themselves with overpriced tickets from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Baltimore isn't doing much, but Cleveland will do more than enough to oblige them. Throughout the 4th quarter, Ravenmite will slowly but surely bring them back into the game. Helps when the Browns don't score a fucking point in the second half. So now Baltimore is only down by 2 and need an onside kick to have a chance.
It hit a lineman and it's gathered in. Chuck Clark.
Wouldn't you guess what happened? At this point, all I'm hoping for is for Cleveland to choke because they're completely useless, but we can have nothing wholesome in this world. The Browns defense is able to clamp down on imitation Lamar and the Ravens to hang on to win. It may suck, but fortunately for Baltimore, Lamar is only dealing with a sprained ankle, and they still hold the division lead. But if you haven't bothered to look at how ugly and competitive it is, then you don't like AFC North football. Shit's a cockroach that won't die. We can all agree this year has been insanely fucked for the NFL. Most games like the last one we recap feel like they're on some kind of drug cocktail. It's exhausting to follow this league some weeks. The only benefit is in memes fresh out of the oven. You thought it couldn't get worse. An old friend has reemerged onto the scene. Corona-chan is back from her lengthy vacation and wreaking havoc on every sports league throughout America. The NFL has felt her wrath hard. You may have noticed all the coughing last week. It was for good reason. Over 150 cases in the league over a 5-day span. It's not Pokemon to catch. Coronavirus is running a train throughout multiple organizations. Cleveland and the Rams have over 25 players in COVID protocol. Washington has over 20. Other teams like the Bears, Texans, and Lions are getting wrecked as well. 8 teams are in enhanced COVID protocols. This is the worst case scenario we were fearing last season, and we're seeing it happen in front of our eyes. The NFLPA pleaded with the league for games to be postponed, but of course they waited until the last moment. In a shocker, the Shield cared more about game integrity than cold hard cash. The Saturday Browns and Raiders tilt has been pushed to Monday. Seahawks versus Rams and Reskins versus Eagles have been rescheduled for Tuesday. We have it again in doubleheader form, boys! Tuesday Night Football! Any chance we can get a Wednesday night game? For all the glorious memes? Potentially disastrous skid for the Ravens has somehow gotten worse for them. Lamar Jackson's ankle injury could not be healed by stale memes, and he's out for this game. Did you seriously believe you were getting an easy opponent this week? Now that's funny. You're getting Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers is still mighty pissed due to a toe injury that everyone and their mother won't shut up about. Baltimore will have to give everything they've got to have any chance of winning this one. No one's giving them that shot, but that's where they're wrong. They have the power of I can't believe it's not Lamar Jackson. This healthy yet artificial Lamargerine is playing some of the best ball of his career, keeping pace with Aaron Rodgers with throw after throw, outstanding run after outstanding run. Lamar who? Not with the way Tyler Huntley's performing. Both teams are throwing haymakers at each other, even with the injuries on both sides and horrible ref ball on display. Touchdown after touchdown thrown in this duel to the death, as both know the seriousness of what's at stake. The Packers' offense might be slowly drifting away from view, but remember, Tyler Huntley has mimicked Lamar's incredible skill in this night. He's driving offense like a seasoned vet. With whatever weapons are still healthy, Huntley's playing out of his mind. Lamar Jackson is smiling on the sidelines. He knows his team is in good hands, but they still aren't there yet. The Ravens are about to experience deja vu.
There he goes. Huntley, touchdown, Ravens.
Son of a bitch, he did it. He brought them within 1 as they try for 2 again?
Huntley.
Oh my god, Baltimore did it again. They learned nothing from Pittsburgh. They cost themselves another potential win because they made more suicidal decisions that didn't pan out. I get the Ravens don't have cornerbacks, but Aaron Rodgers still would have had a timeout and 42 seconds left. Any potential reward was too minuscule for such a massive risk. Also consider that they left more points on the board as they made another terrible play call on a 4th and goal in the first quarter, and going for it on a 4th and 6 at their own 29, gifting the Packers 3 more. Those combined 7 points may have given Baltimore victory, but math has no feelings. The analytical sword stabs them in the back. The AFC North you thought you had a lead on has now slipped from your grasp. With the Bengals, Rams, and Steelers coming up on the docket, I honestly don't know if they win another game. Welcome to pain, Baltimore. We'll leave a seat for you in hell if you fail to make it.
You blew it. Fish.
The unofficial handing of the baton. It happened with the Steelers, and guess what, Ravens? It's your turn to do so now. Let's not pretend that you're going to put up any sort of fight. Not only is Lamar out of this game, but Tyler Huntley succumbed to the vices of Corona Chan as well. Therefore, Baltimore's QB in this game is a man you could argue infects more teams than Corona Chan does. Josh Johnson. No offense, but the Ravens' chances of winning in this game are quite marginal. That comment's as groan-worthy as Baltimore's defense was. Cincinnati launched an air raid so relentless it almost felt like they were the Luftwaffe. Joe Burrow commanded his offense to 525 yards passing. Jesus Christ, the Ravens are as bombed out as 1940s London. It was thorough destruction, but nothing matters besides cold reality. Cincinnati, the forgotten red-headed stepchild of the AFC North, is running with the division at full speed. What a horrible scenario to experience. We should have beaten the Bengals harder. It may have saved them from thinking they're above their station in life. How did we allow that city to have hope and optimism? The Ravens have been playing with fire for far too long. If you saw them at any point throughout the season, you'd have known most of their wins were based on luck or acts of God. But the injury bell will eventually toll. Someday the price paid in bones and ligaments will be too great for a team to overcome. When one thing goes right, 2 other misfortunes come to take them down. Lamar is still dealing with a hobbling ankle injury, so Tyler Huntley will have to prove imitation is equal to the original once again. Fortunately, Matthew Stafford is reminding us all why he never led Detroit anywhere in the past. For whatever reason, he falls apart in critical situations. 3 horrible turnovers at Baltimore in a position they haven't been in often as of late. In the lead. I just wish their drives wouldn't keep stalling out, but Justin Tucker should be well rested from his lack of use on final drive touchdowns. It's now the 4th quarter, and an uneasy feeling embalms Baltimore. The Rams are slowly chipping away at their lead. The Raven offense can't sustain momentum, but there is a chance to put it away. They're near the goal line, and all they have to do is stall out again. You fucking had them, man. How can you implode like that? Do you know how porous your defense has been due to a litany of ailments? We've been down this road before. They'll make the opposition quarterback look like a Hall of Famer while anus is clenched throughout the Chesapeake. But maybe this is different. They're stopping them in the red zone, and all they need is one more to escape.
On 4th down, Stafford slings, Beckham holds on!
Shit, I forgot Matthew Stafford's also incredible with the 2-minute drill. Ravens, don't do this.
Stafford rolls, throws, end zone, Beckham, touchdown! Rams lead!
Oh no. The football gods betrayed them again. Their 3rd devastating loss in 4 weeks. This time when victory was all but assured for them. The Rams steal a win from under their opponent's feet. And it's pretty much ended the Ravens' season. Not only do they have to beat Pittsburgh despite no momentum whatsoever, they have to beat Jags fans next week. On top of other things. It's over, Baltimore. Cut off some heads in the coordinator ranks. The time has come.
You had an opportunity, and you blew it.
The final spots in the AFC still need to be decided as well. Pittsburgh and Baltimore are 2 absolutely terrible teams who shouldn't be anywhere near the playoffs. It's as ugly on the field as the rain pelting both teams today. It's painful to watch in any interpretation of the word. It's AFC North football. Steelers and Ravens taking the field with significant flaws on both sides. Pittsburgh has a trash offense and is getting bailed out by fluke wins and endless bullshit. Baltimore's problem is simple. They're the unanimous winners of this season's Injury Bowl. Very well earned indeed. The main differences in this game are easy to identify. The Ravens are making critical errors due to their legions of backups and practice squad players. The Steelers are simply a tortoise, going slow and steady hoping for the other team to fuck up. TJ Watt can tie the sack record, but that's all there's going to be so far. Baltimore may have the lead, but the high-end talent and incredible bullshit powers of Pittsburgh will save them from the horrors of an 8-1 Super Bowl. Both teams are trying their hardest to win, but don't have anywhere near the ability to do so. Justin Tucker is one of the few Ravens players left who are any good, so we will head to overtime. But they both need something to happen for hope to stay alive. They need to look to Jacksonville. God help us all.
I'm calling both games.
Indy, what the actual fuck was that? In a game that was being handed to them as an easy win, the Colts undertook one of the most spectacular chokes the NFL has seen in its history. It's one thing if it's a close game, you know, the whole any given Sunday motif. Indy hadn't won there since 2014, and Jacksonville has nothing to lose. But this wasn't even that. This was a colossal failure on all fronts. The defense defended against Trevor Lawrence as well as a parking cone against a car. Offensive play calling was awful. Jonathan Taylor could do nothing as we meet the real failure of the game. This performance will near single-handedly run Carson Wentz out of town. All he had to do was not fuck up, and he shit his pants so often he needed Huggies. If you exclude his garbage time touchdown drive, Carson Wentz went 8 for 20 for 100 yards passing, a pick, a fumble, and a quarterback rating of 35. Need I remind you, this is against the worst team in football this season. Their fans came dressed as fucking clowns due to how terribly run they are, and they still got blown out of the goddamn water. Indy prolapsed when it mattered the most. And I'd strongly consider firing everyone if I'm in charge. These kinds of losses are hard to recover from. This is completely unacceptable from a so-called playoff contender. Ballard and Wright tethered their boats to the ship of Wentz in the offseason, and if he sinks, he might take them down with him. They are easy candidates for lone cow of the week, especially when given the circumstances. I knew something was off about these fuckers in the middle of the year, and their failures were revealed at the worst possible time. You deserve to be a meme, Colts. Embrace it. Get the fuck out of my sight and take your broken quarterback with you.
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
Now we have something to play for here. Baltimore gets the ball in OT first, but they can do little against Steeler bullshit. Big Ben has nothing left in his body, but they're gonna carry this old bastard to another playoff run if he wants it or not. The Black and Gold Brigade is converting third downs because the Ravens are literally out of cornerbacks. But even then, it's not enough. They go bold on fourth down and save Ben from a badly underthrown ball thanks to Ray McLeod, thus setting up a chip shot to win the game and keep their false hopes alive.
Marvin will hold it, sweeps the leg, and that is a winner for Pittsburgh.
Steelers fucking suck. They barely scraped by against Baltimore's XFL affiliate. I'd be ashamed, but they managed to find ways to live, despite the fact that they should have been dead weeks ago. Indianapolis, you failed miserably. And if Baltimore's going to hell, they're taking you with them.
Baltimore Ravens and Indianapolis Colts eliminated.
This has been a season. So many twists and turns that it's hard to conceive with the naked eye. If you were looking at this year seriously, it was absolutely exhausting. But do you know the true bounty to cherish? The memes. It was fucking gold for this economy. Thanks to incredible collapses, fantastic comebacks, Urban Meyer's coaching tenure, and whatever the fuck Antonio Brown did in the Jets game. Even when the Ravens were looked at as an AFC North contender, I didn't take them seriously. If you watched their games closely, you saw serious warning signs. They were playing with fire repeatedly, dancing through way too many raindrops during the season. Baltimore was 8-3, but they were a massive comeback from Lamar and a literal kick of God from Justin Tucker away from being mediocre. It's nothing disparaging about them, it's just the truth. We all knew why they were going to slide back into irrelevance. The injuries. They had been wrecked since the preseason. Team lost all their fucking running backs before a game was even played. And it didn't stop. Every week that passed, well, there's 2 more key players down long term. At minimum. It all leads to the classic trope of the Ravens ripping their fans' hearts out of them and crushing it by industrial press. 6 straight losses to end the year to finish under 500. The analytical sword gives 0 fucks about being out of cornerbacks. It only cares about results. Against the Steelers and Packers, a one-way ticket to 2-point conversion hell. After that experience, Los Angeles in a painful comeback drive. Then get clowned by Pittsburgh again in an overtime slop fest. Did I mention that Lamar went down with injury as well? I didn't. He's an enigma. He shows brilliant moments, but puts together some massive duds when he's forced to throw. So do you give him the big bucks? If injuries start to slow him down, you're stuck with another Joe Flacco situation. And we all know where that leads. This collapse has cost Wink Martindale his job. And another painful year may cost them more. Soon enough, the city of Baltimore itself will fall victim to injury in the next few months.